You guys, when your life feels heavy and your head literally feels like it's about to explode, it's rarely because you've taken on too much work and you've taken too big a risks in your business and you're working too hard on your body. It's genuinely just because you're misaligned. You have this stress in your body simply just because, whether you've become consciously aware of it or not, largely it's subconsciously, your heart knows that you are completely misaligned from what your goals are. Like, you've got these big goals. You want to have a specific body. You want to have your relationship a certain way. You want to have a crazy villa. You want to have the best lifestyle, the best cars. And you just know with how you're operating, how you're thinking, what your actions are, maybe who you're hanging around, the conversations you're having, how you're spending your time. You just know that that isn't how you would operate in alignment with the outcome you want. And it creates such a large amount of stress. Now, I've got here, guys, there are two types of stress. You know, I'm very aware of this all the time. There's something called distress, which is what I'm talking about right now. A lack of alignment creates distress, which is bad. It raises your cortisol. It makes you feel horrendous. I had some distress over the last week, and I'm going to run you through exactly what that were and how I fixed it. But eustress is typically where most people think their stress is coming from and why they take their foot off the gas. So, like, examples of eustress: training hard in the gym, launching a new business or a project, moving into a property that seems out of your reach, maybe investing in all your new office kit, and it might have cost you £7,000 and you only had $7,200 in the bank account, but you know it's going to grow your business. Maybe you invest in a mentor and you spend your last 5K on getting to that next level. Usually people think it's these things, you know, just cutting it too thin on things that can grow them. Guys, this is the most healthy type of stress possible. And I actually advise all of my clients, whether they're in elite or in brand, I say to everyone, you should intentionally, artificially try to create as much eustress as possible, because it sharpens your focus, it increases your motivation, it gives you drive, and takes you into a level of competence that you would have never been able to achieve in a comfortable position. You know, it's that pressure makes diamonds. But what we're talking about right now is when you genuinely feel like your head's about to explode. I had this a little bit last week. It's misalignment. Something that's going on in your life right now is out of alignment from the assumption of the life that you're trying to create. And you have to involve in your daily process and bringing an awareness to what that thing is. And you need stillness for that. You need to create a time of stillness every single day. Like, I tell all of my guys to do my consciousness calibration morning process. It's getting clear on the assumption and the alignment. Every little detail that needs to shift every day. Now, let me just run you through distress, right? Lack of alignment, toxic relationships or environment, overtraining without recovery, right? So, like I always say to guys, don't go be some crazy runner. Don't go train like these crazy volume people. When you just want to be an entrepreneur, you need to train for competence. You want to look aesthetic. You want to improve your self-image. You want to look like a savage, but you want to do it and also build your money game and build your brain. Like, don't go down routes that create distress. Feeling trapped, helpless, chronic overload in a job that you don't like. You know, so if you are working as a lawyer, for example, right now, and it could pay you $100K a year, but you're like visualizing all the time that you want to have this online business and you want to be free and you want to be traveling in Dubai and Bali and living a lifestyle pretty much how I do. You know, every single day you go to work and you put another shift in, and no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you press your foot on the gas, you're out of alignment. Those inputs physically can't create a new output. This is all distress. Now, I had it last week, guys, where I'd been in a villa. I go to Dubai, and then when I'm in Bali, I've been in a specific villa for like the last 2 years pretty much now. And it's a very luxury villa, don't get me wrong. You know, it's still a $11,000 a month villa. But I'd outgrown it. My identity had outgrown it. And, these days it's me, it's my missus, I've got my 2 dogs, we've got a toy poodle, we've got a Doberman. And as much as it might look like most people's dream villa, I was just sat there last week and I was like, in my process, I was like, something is wrong. I feel trapped. I don't have my space because, like I said, there's 2 of us and 2 more dogs. Now, I've grown to where I am because I know how I perform. And I've grown to where I am because I take so much time to be on my own, so much stillness. I can love certain people so much, my family, my mates, or allies, and my partner. But I still don't want to spend all my time with them. I need time alone to really create that silence, to understand exactly the clarity I need to move forward and create new ideas and work hard and focus. And time to me alone is so important. But in the villa, the way it's laid out, the way it's structured, I just figured out, I was like, I'm not getting my time alone, and I'm sacrificing, I'm not the asset I really could be because I'm not quite as productive as I know I need to be to the alignment of the next goal. And that misalignment was causing me a lot of stress. Every day I just felt like digging a little bit deeper, and it was on like the 3rd day, I catch things fast. On the 3rd day I was like, no, we're moving. So I've come here, we're now in a big 5-bedroom pad, loads of outdoor space. I've got an office, I've got a studio, podcast space downstairs, big living space, big kitchen space. It's just so good. And instantly I was like, alignment. I just knew that for where I am to where I'm trying to go, I need that space. I need my space back. I need my time to get into deep focus. Even here, I've got like a crazy big view. My last villa didn't have a great view. It was just palm trees, which isn't the worst view, but I like to see so far away in front of me so I can think so big. I want to look at the stars. I want to look around and I want to be like, it just lets me see so, like, I think everybody should be living in a penthouse at the top of the tallest skyscraper when they're in the city like Dubai. Or they should literally be able, they need the biggest view ever. Because to get to that top level, you need to be so creative. Every top level guy I speak with says the same thing. Every one of them goes and buys luxury property with the best view. You have to. It's just a non-negotiable. And I could feel that. I could feel that misalignment. And the reason I want to say this, guys, is because I know so many people create that misalignment without really realizing. They're just stressed and they think, I need to work less. I need to put less financial stress on myself and stop investing in myself as much. And I need to stop working as hard, and I need to go chill out a little bit more. I need to go spend time at the day club. I need to spend more time with my girlfriend. When in reality, I just knew I needed to invest even more. I needed to spend $17,000 a month on a better villa, right? And create more space from everyone so I can work harder. And me working harder, now I have more eustress. I have more financial outgoings, I have more admin going on, but that new eustress actually grows me. It makes me want to work harder. So here's what we need to do, guys. When you feel burnout, what I challenge everyone to do is don't even let burnout happen. Go through my morning process, consciousness calibration, right? And go through your assumption. Every single morning, write down your assumption on the exact life you want. The exact lifestyle, the house, the cars, exactly how much it's going to cost, the partner, the dynamic, the network of people you want, where you want to be, how you want to give back to your family, what your impact is you want on the world, what your business setup is going to look like if you're to reverse engineer, how you're going to create that lifestyle, that level of income, that level of impact, what your daily process needs to be, the blueprint you're going to follow that's usually going to have come from someone that's already achieved that or something like that. And then, once you've gone through your assumption, every single morning, you come to the alignment part and you self-analyze and you become a fly on the wall for who you were this morning or who you were yesterday. And you're like, what right now feels uncomfortable in my heart? Maybe I'm just not living in the right environment. Like when you take that silence, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning to do this process and you sit in that assumption, it's very easy to understand what you need to change to align up. Your heart's just going to be like, I need to train in a better gym. Because I know then I would train in a better gym. It might be like, I need to move house now. It might be like, I need to stop hanging around them. It might be, I need a tough conversation with my missus to say, look, we're going to spend less time together, but I need to be more potent at work and I can be more potent with you. If I can win at me more, I can win with us more, right? Could be all of these things your heart is going to tell you. Now, when it comes to this assumption part, here's what I challenge you to do when it comes to how you figure out your alignments. Elon Musk said a great quote, which is, pick your 10-year goal and try and execute it in 6 months. And how I interpret that is your assumption. You're writing down your assumption. What is your assumption? Your 10-year goal, your big goal, and try and do it in 6 months. How do we do that? We align with it today. Every single thing we can do today to align with it, we do it. So hypothetically, let's say you are this lawyer guy and you're like, right, I want to get in savage shape. I want to become undeniable. I want to build my online business. I want to get around savages. I want to have this chick. I want to be living in this house. I want to be traveling first class. I want to be living in this location, blah, 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 blah. I would train in this gym. I would go to this day club. You might be like, right, okay. All I would do is I would go, what can I do today though out of everything I want to be? Well, when I'm at that point, I want this hairstyle. Okay, make that hairstyle now. When I'm at that point, I want to dress this way. Oh, well, I can afford to dress that way now. Okay, do it now. Align with it. Right? Maybe it's when I'm at that level, I train in a specific gym over there instead of over here. Can you afford to do it now? Yes. Okay, go do it now. Maybe at that point you communicate a certain way. And can you work on your communication now? Yes, do it now. Now maybe the dream house you want, you can't get it now. So you go, okay, that's something I need to shift within my alignment to the assumption, but it's a working towards it thing. But you're gonna get there much faster if everything else that you can physically do now or in the next couple of weeks, if you just do it now, you're pretty much at your goal. You're pretty much at your goal. So write down your assumption and just basically have a type A, type B. This is you now and you need to be B. You're A now, you're B now. Okay. You need this physique, this is your physique now. Okay, there's your arrow, this is what we're working on. This is your house now, this is this one. Okay, we need to get our cash flow up to 50K a month, 100K a month if we want that house. We want this car. Okay, we need to get our cash flow up, right? Okay, well, how are we going to get our cash flow? Well, we need to build a brand. Okay, we got no brand, we need a brand. Okay, we're going to start the brand. Okay, we're going to invest in someone who knows how to build a brand, right? You get where I'm going. What actions can you take today? This is going to remove your burnout. You are going to be doing so much more work towards your goals. You're going to be training harder in the gym. You're going to be putting much more financial pressure on yourself. Good pressure, because it's going into you and making you put your foot down, getting sharper, having to make it happen. You are never going to have to make it happen in a comfortable position when you're receiving your salary of $8,000 a month and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go do that online business one day. No, you're not. Spend all your money and put it in the right stuff. Put it into yourself. Go get everything you can do, you know? And that's really important. And that's why you should do this morning process every single day. And you are probably going to be working harder. You're probably going to be working smarter also. You're probably going to be taking on a whole lot more things. And watch your burnout dissolve. Your head will go from exploding, from not doing that much to doing loads more, finding flow state, rolling the snowball, building confidence, improving your self-image, your identity. And all of a sudden you're doing way more. You've got way more to a normie stress on you. But it feels easy. Life feels easy. And this is why, guys, this morning process, consciousness calibration, AM assumptions, AM alignment, doesn't just build you your dream life exactly how you want it. Lifestyle design. It stops you burning out, because burnout only comes from distress. Burnout comes from being misaligned. Audit yourself every single day. Start today. Do it tomorrow. Do it the day after. Do it the day after. And every single thing that feels out of alignment, you remove it and you draw an arrow. What can I change today? Okay, I'm going to quit this job today. Okay, I'm going to invest in some knowledge today. Okay, I'm going to join a different gym today. I'm going to hire a physique coach today. You know, I'm going to cut these people out today. Maybe I'm going to go chat to that chick in the gym because that's the sort of chick I want to be with. Right? It doesn't matter. Like, maybe you would have a certain dog. I knew me in 10 years, in my assumption, I'd have a fucking jacked up Doberman. So I just went and fucking bought one the second I thought that. Everything you can do now, you better go and do it. You know, you better go and do it. And you'll never feel like your head's going to blow off again. Get a very clear understanding on eustress, distress. Because you're not burnt out, I promise you. If you feel lost, you feel shit, you feel like you're going to explode, it's because you know, your heart knows that every single part of your life that you're doing right now isn't mirroring the one in the assumption. Now, God's not going to give you everything you want unless you pay in full and you pay up front. You better fucking pay. You better change, and you better change now. You know, you got to plant the seeds, you've got to water the seeds, you got to give them sunlight, you got to give them food, and then they grow. But you've got to be doing the work of the man in the assumption today. And your heart, your soul, the authentic voice of God has a very, 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 it's universal wisdom. It has an infinite knowingness about if you're doing something wrong. Okay, you don't even have to have been educated. Your heart just knows this isn't going to get me there. Right? Maybe you were like me. I was a dick in school. I just didn't want to do anything. I would just sit there and everyone would be doing their coursework and I'd just sit there on my phone. Or I'd go off and do golf. That was like what I originally wanted to be, a professional golfer. You know, and I would just leave. I'd just leave class. I was just like, I know. My heart knows. No matter how hard I try here, without anyone telling me or giving me this programming, I was just like, there is zero way that is going to create the life I want. I know what life I want, and there's zero way me going to school is going to do this. Just like if you keep going about your day right now, there is zero way that you're going to hit that assumption. You've got to expose yourself to people who are living that assumption and really audit your life with them. You know, as much as my clients in the physique and mindset in my elite, or in the brand and the scaling their online brand to 50, 100K a month, as much as I'm giving them a lot of knowledge, specialized knowledge to do that, such a huge part is the one-on-one work, the calls, where I am seeing their blind spots and I can actually expose them to something that they might think is completely normal. I hear it all the time. Oh, I know my blind spots. No, you don't, otherwise it's not a blind spot. Don't have the ego to think you know your blind spots. If you were aligned, you would already have the result, right? And I see things and guys literally go, oh my God. And I can just see something that might not be a technical shift, it's an alignment shift. Start printing, start feeling way more confident, start getting in way better shape, right? Higher frequency. You know, I literally had a message last night, so fulfilling. Let me just read you through this, guys, like right now. You know, I had a client message me right now. This is someone who is in my brand, he's in my Black Room brand, actually my one-on-one consultancy. And we do a lot of work together, obviously from a knowledge standpoint, but the alignment part, actually our calls, and really allowing him to adopt my syntax and how I actually think and how I do things and how I get the results I get. And he sent me a message, posted it on my Instagram story. If you guys don't, it's Dr. Tom Pearson. How can I pay you back? ? Financially, I know you've got everything. So as a client, if we forget the financial commitment side, how can I pay you back fully? What could I do that would make you fulfilled as fuck, knowing your guidance has led me to where I am today? I'm operating on jet fuel right now, totally aligned, but I want to make it even more rocket fuel. You know, that for me is everything. It's not even just about the income. You know, a guy messaged me straight after replying to that story and he was like, post this for the guys who have no idea what you're talking about. I paid you $4K a month in your highest program, one-on-one consultancy, for 8 months. He started at 7K a month. After 1 month, we hit 40K a month. After 6 months, we hit 72K a month. And in month 8 is hitting 100K a month. And he said, but it's not even about the money figure. It's about the value it brings to the client, to the individual. The alignment he has. You can make so much money. For example, even if you are this hypothetical lawyer and you made $2 million a month, but you're this lawyer and you have to go to do something you don't want and it's misaligned from your vision because you still have to go speak to your boss and you still got all this distress of doing the things you don't want to be doing when you want to be free. It's misalignment, right? How I build my clients up is in alignment. It's to their own vision, not my vision. They tell me their vision and I take them through that path. They tell me how they want their brand and I take them through that path. Alignment is everything. This is why, guys, why did I get into the industry in the first place? Starting out as a personal trainer. It created a fallout with my mom, but I said to my mom, I said, look, if I stay as an engineer, right, I decided already I didn't want to go down the golf route. I'm not saying I was going to make it as a golfer, but I didn't want to go down the golf route. I do think I would have done. I would have 100% made it. Because I'm just so obsessed when I get into something. But I decided I didn't want to do that route because I knew in my head it was out of alignment. I knew I wanted freedom. I knew I just wanted to be wherever I wanted to be all the time and be able to do whatever I want, right? If it's a Wednesday, I just do whatever. Golf is very strict. It's like tournament day, tournament day, tournament day, tournament day, travel, practice day, tournament day, and it's just all year round. You actually don't have much freedom. It's a great life, and it pays well at the top, but it's just not what I wanted. And I came back to the drawing board and I was like, well, I've still not built myself into anything. I'm only 19 years old. So I was working as an engineer until I'd figured out what I wanted to do. And then when I quit my job from engineering, because I've been working really hard on my body and my mindset, I started my online coaching business and personal training business. And I said to my mum, I said, look, even if I stayed as an engineer and I was paid $2 million a month or $1 million a month from that set of time, I was like, I couldn't think of anything worse. That's when you're out of alignment, right? And I'm so grateful I had that universal wisdom. It's nothing to do with me, right? I'm not better than other people. I could just tap into that universal wisdom, which everyone has. It's like, it's your conscience. I could just find that silence at a pretty young age to understand, like, people say, Tom, you're very wise. It's like you got an old soul. No, I just know how to tap into universal wisdom. I can listen to my conscience. And I just knew that that's not what I wanted to do. If I pressed harder in that, every day I stayed in that game was another day wasted. It was another day further away. If I pressed harder in the engineering route, when I knew I wanted this route, I'm getting further away because I've got to come back and then go up here. When I could just today go bang and create a brand new life. Like, the best day was yesterday. The second best time is today. And I'm such an urgency guy. Everything I do has to be aligned. As soon as I feel a second of misalignment, I'm like, bang. Like, change. Has to be. The feeling of misalignment is suicidal in my eyes. Like, it's disgusting. And the reality is 99.9% of the population are misaligned. Even some of the guys who are making 20, 30 grand a month, they're misaligned. That's also been me. The first time when I built my online coaching business to 30K a month at the beginning, probably back in 2021, 2022, I built it misaligned. It wasn't exactly how I wanted the business to run. I had that location freedom, but I was like, this still isn't success. It's still not freedom because I'm doing loads of stuff. I was doing sales calls and I was doing types of content I didn't want to do. It weren't real. It weren't authentic. It weren't truth. And now I've built one in alignment. I've worked with the best mentors, the best consultants, on the planet. And I've brought it back to this coaching consultancy space. And now I've built 2 7-figure offers in coaching and consultancy. And it's the best thing ever because now I have the monetary side way more. Plus the alignment side. And that's everything. But you need alignment in all areas. You want alignment in your body. You want alignment in your mind, in your daily process. You want it in your relationships. You want it with your friends. You want it with your family. You want it with your business. You want it with your lifestyle design, your environment. Everything has to be in alignment with the assumption. And whenever you feel down, you're misaligned. Bring in this consciousness calibration daily process. I don't care what your main focus is right now. It's the best thing anybody can do. And you will prevent burnout. You will catch it before it happens. Okay, you don't want to run into burnout. And I promise you, by just taking more action, more aligned action, through sitting in that assumption, inspired action, it can look to a normie, it can look to the 99% like chaos. It can look like craziness. It can look like you're just going mental, doing so much stuff. But you just find infinite amounts of peace in doing all of this and taking all of this crazy action because you're not even trying. You know, that's what I talk about when I say about the law of assumption. You're not trying, but you're doing more. You're taking more on. But it's inspired action. The law of assumption isn't you think about what you want, you sit on your bed, you wank off, and you think you're going to manifest your goal. No. The law of assumption is you sit in the assumption and you become aligned and you take inspired, aligned action, which is relentless. But it feels so easy. Okay? And you're going to find infinite amounts of peace internally and externally. You should always optimize for internal freedom over external freedom. And when you do that, you create more of both. Whereas if you just go for the external and you're misaligned and you're chasing, you're going to feel burnt out and you're going to live a very bad life. Like, don't just think about the material you want. Think about you've got one time here on this planet. How do you want to feel inside? Right? Misalignment is genuinely suicide. The only focus every man should have right now is get very clear and build clarity on their assumption. If you don't have that clarity right now, you need to work harder on yourself, on your body, on your mindset, on your daily process, creating that silence, creating that inner peace so you can start to hear your conscience. It takes time to do this. And from there, it's just aligning, you know, this tattoo all the way down the back of my arm. Your conscience is your gift from God. What you do with it is your gift to God. Alignment. Understanding, it literally gives me goosebumps. Understanding the assumption that's being given to you and taking orders and following it as fast as possible. No different to my client when he said, Tom, how can I pay you back? You pay me back by winning, bro. You pay me back when you go get in savage shape. You pay me back when you go build your brand and you've gone from being, in a not a great relationship and feeling down and broke in the UK to building a business, complete freedom. You're in Thailand, you're in Bali, you're traveling, you're going to Dubai, all this crazy stuff. You're in a new dimension of life. That's the gift to me. It shouldn't be reciprocal. If someone invests 5,000 across a time period into working with me and I help them make 500,000 or more and a new dimension of life which comes with all of that money and who they had to become to do that, I don't want paying 500k plus and all of the benefits too that they acquired from it. I win because I help hundreds of people win, thousands of people win. But the real reward is when I give a blueprint to my clients on whatever they're trying to work on, we align them up to their assumption and they hit their assumption through alignment. From getting the specialized knowledge, from adopting the belief systems, adopting the mental syntax, getting their habits aligned, getting their actions aligned, cleaning up their environment, getting them out of their blind spots. And that's the gift. I win when they win. That's how all coaches should think. If you're watching this right now and you're a coach, no matter what you coach, stop thinking about creating your brand so you can win. Create your brand to help lots of people win. And you'll just win by lots of people winning. But they're taking the best side of the deal, always. All right, guys, let's get it. Let's go.